Hello and welcome back to the 90s Mad Podcast, your podcast for all things Newcastle United, hosted by two lifelong Newcastle United supporting buddies. Myself, D-Man, joined by my co-host Jefferson. How you doing, my son?
What's going on? What's going on? Obviously, chopping it up with you tonight, and those here is a remedy to what's been going on, and of course yesterday's performance. But that
Yeah.
aside, my friend, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. End of the week, looking forward to the following week. We've got a big game coming up. But yeah, man, other than the disappointing result yesterday, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Um, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Help the channel grow. Send a super chat if you want. If you want anything for us to discuss today. And yeah, let's get into it. As usual, we're here to discuss the latest installment, home to Man City in the FA Cup. Chapter 5 of the season against Man City. Luckily, it's the last one. Well, should be the last one. It probably is the last one. Let's be real. But yeah, before we get into that, let's see who's in the building. We've got the Bevis in there already. He said the happy clappers keep popping up desperately after the odd win, like it's a game of whack-a-mole for the results. Well, they're very quiet at the moment. They're very quiet. I wonder why. Big up William in the booth, said charting Eddie out, Black and White Army. Big up William, hope you're good.
Eddie out.
And we got Pump Mags in the building. How you doing, Pump Mags? Said big up, big up.
West side.
But yeah, FA Cup, St. James's Park under the lights. They finished Newcastle United 1, Man City 3. Yeah, a convincing beating at the hands of Pep and his guys. Overall thoughts on the game, Jefferson?
Once again, it's more of what we know. It's disappointing. Of course, a couple of encouraging spots in the game, particularly the beginning, but it all too familiar story in terms of it petering out. People playing in odd positions. I think there's a real sign of desperation there, and I think there's a real lack of inspiration from committing from both the manager to the players. It's an all too familiar story, and I think people will look at it and see that Man City drew in their last game against Forest, who are a team that, yeah, they've got ability, but they're struggling. And yet again, for Man City, we always tend to bend over for them. I have no idea what is going on there. And I think the problem there is as well, you've then got fans that are potentially sort of chanting for the manager. So what that sends out is the wrong messages to the board that we are then tolerant and accepting of the poor football, the performances, and ultimately the results, meaning that we have a minnow mentality and we want to be plucky losers. Now, I know that myself, you, and probably most of the people here aren't of that mentality or ilk. So we need to get it together. And I think with the post, I mean, I'm sure we'll come to it anyway, but the sort of post-match interviews as well, it sounds like, it's pretty much done. It's Barca or bust, isn't it? So it then it makes you think, all right, if we couldn't get a result out of this game, how in blue hell are we going to, so excuse the pun, but how in blue hell are we going to get a result against City? So it's enough to make fans feel flat after seeing a game and a performance like that. But yeah, we move on.
Yeah. Big up. Big up. Life of Rolo said could be worse. Could be Sunderland. Yeah, I believe they lost. Is it one? Who did they play? Is it Port Vale they lost to?
Port Vale.
Yeah, not a good look. Not a good look. But listen, they've gone out the same stage as us. Yeah, they're currently above us in the league. They've beaten us already. Can we really talk to them at the moment? I'm not so sure. William said, I guess I was holding back because of the real hope is the Champions League. Listen, it's make or break, mate. Make or break. Let's be honest, we're not winning that. We're not winning that. But big up Genius in the building. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Yeah, Christopher, one down, one to go on Tuesday, and then the board has to answer for their crimes, hiring the clown Eddie Howe. I won't say hiring him, but sticking with him. Yeah, that could be the thing. So Pop Mag said, I read Man City starting 11 cost less than ours. It's not just about the money, it's who's buying the players and what they're paying for them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Valid point.
But yeah, in terms of the game itself, like I agree with everything you said. We started well, I think first 20-25 minutes when we got the goal, but it's typical Newcastle, isn't it? We start well, lots of energy, lots of intensity, and then either teams figure us out or we sit back and allow pressure. And I think it was a bit of both, because Pep made a couple tweaks, especially with Reinder's positioning after the first 20 minutes when he figured out what's going. That's what good managers do. You know, they have their plans set out in the beginning. And if they spot that it's not working early, they make changes, make adjustments. This is something that Eddie Howe lacks, right? His in-game management is very poor. Now, like I said, it's typical Newcastle. We die after 20, 25 minutes. And let's be honest, City controlled that game from there on out. And they could have been more. It could have been 6, 7. You know, Savino had a good battle with Lewis Hall. Some of the changes that Howe made were very questionable, which we'll get to. The start, the lineup again wasn't ideal. And listen, we were well beaten, and that was to me that was our last hope of any European football this season. And I think we've blown it. Actually, I didn't think we were going to win the FA Cup anyway, but that was the only logical way of Europe for the final for the season, because we're not going to get top 7. We're not winning the Champions League. So, and I believe that the target was European football this season, and we failed to do that. So, like someone said, you know, the board have got a lot to answer for. You know, they've got to make a decision. They've got to be very, very stern very serious about what they're going to do moving forward. But we'll get. But yeah, big up those who are in the building. There's 28 of you in the building at the moment. Smash the likes on the way in if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated. Get the like count up. But yeah, Christopher said. He said. Question, D-Man, it's not just Eddie Howe who has to leave. It's the man who found these summer signings and signs of buying average players to make us worse. Langarissa, 110 million worth of crap. Well, you're talking about his nephew, no? You're talking about his nephew.
How's he still in a job?
You know what I mean?
He's still in a job.
Yeah. So, and a bigger age, said that inability to take care of the ball has needed addressing for so long now. Indeed, we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about it a lot. Big up Kante in the building. Hope you're good.
Big up Kante. Welcome, bro.
But yeah. So let's talk about the lineup. Yeah. So again, Ramsdale gets a deserved start. Voltemada again in the 8th position. And Willisula gets a start after his heroics against Manchester United. So what are your thoughts about the lineup?
I mean, to be honest, when you look at it on paper, in theory, you'd argue that despite Man City's midfield being somewhat competent and solid, you'd argue that we could and should match them. Yeah, because I think, you know, Willock is in a more central position. Voltemada arguably more advanced of the 3, but we know he's somewhat competent and adept, but he's not going to excel in that role. So, you know, with the legs of Willock and Tonali, you'd argue we could match them because, you know, O'Reilly's going to be one to overlap and get forward into attacking spaces, which could leave them vulnerable. And we've seen Reinders, although he's good on the ball, again, he likes to attack at moments as well. In fact, I think there was a situation in the first part of the game where he got forward, he nearly scored a goal. So that then leaves him vulnerable. But don't get me wrong, Nico's a solid guy. He's a big guy, but I thought the midfield, again, when you're looking at Voltemada starting there, was always going to be a crucial thing, you know. And then when you look at Man City's defense, although, yes, you've got a talented sort of Kujanov, who we obviously ourselves wanted, seemed a bit raw, but he's coming into it. Stones struggles to keep fit, but undoubted, we know his class. Obviously, he's past his best. You know, Nunez, makeshift at best. Ake, again, is he past his best? You kind of think, all right, maybe we got a chance here. Obviously, they can keep the ball, keep possession better than us, but we may yet spring a surprise as we did in the 2-1 home win. But yeah, it's good to see Ramsdale, you know, continuing goal for us. And I think no one really would have begrudged Asula having his start, you know, after the winner he got in the last game. But yeah, it's one of those ones. You can't make too many complaints because you could argue the squad is a bit thin. And Eddie probably went with the side he thought would do best for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I have no real complaints about the lineup apart from the Voltemada in that position. I thought, again, this experiment has to end. But yeah, other than that, Botman coming back, giving Burn a rest. Because let's be honest, it was just a rest. You know, Botman Burn is Eddie Howe's number 1 centre back along with Malik Chow. So that was a rotation thing. Asulu up front, I don't think I had too many. I mean, I didn't really expect him to do much. given the way when he has started this season, he hasn't really impressed. But I thought, he deserved it after his heroics in midweek to see what he could do. It wasn't really, Harvey Barnes getting a start in Elanga as well. Continuing with Elanga, I thought, using this pace could cause, especially when I saw City's lineup as well. They rotated heavily. Some would argue it's their B team. I thought, you know what? Yeah, I wasn't too fussed about the lineup. I thought we could get at them and make a game of it. Big up Raymond in the building. He said, where is he? He said, hi, D-Man Jefferson. How are you?
No.
Deserve your point as the manager of Newcastle now and give the money to buy players in the summer window. He also said, how playing players in the wrong position, you need to be sacked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the game itself, yeah. Oh well, big up Kenny. We missed you last time, Kenny. How are you, my friend?
Welcome back.
He said 3 minutes of brilliance, an average player deserves a start. Well, Kenny, listen. The fact that we've got Barcelona coming up, Eddie Howe had to rotate, yeah, and Gordon's going to start against Barcelona. Vissa, he doesn't seem to be trusted since he's come back from injury, and Voldemar, he doesn't seem to play trust as a striker. So to me, I don't think there's anything wrong with him trying that again, given the way he performed when he did come on. I think he did deserve a start in this particular game. I'm not saying the next game, but if we needed to rotate, and this was probably the perfect opportunity to do it, in my opinion. But I hear your point. But big up Yinks in the building. Big up Big Yinks. He said,
and like Yinks,
Eddie lost us the game. I can't blame the players. Interesting. We got Stephen in the building. Big up Stephen. Stephen said winning the FA Cup gets you 3 million. Playing Barca and getting past them is 10 to 16 mil. Judge him after Barcelona.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. If that's what you want, then we'll judge him off. But we're judging him on the season so far. The season to date, like, let's be real, it's been a disappointing season to say the least. Yeah, but again, we're still in the Champions League. We could defy the odds and do something. Don't think we will, but let's see in it. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Oh, here we go. Yeah, why are you laughing, bro? Yeah, big up Menace, Liverpool fan. Yeah, found your voice now. These Liverpool fans are fine. I'm surprised I ain't seen KJ in there with his eye emoji just yet. Yeah, these Liverpool fans have found their voice. But yeah, big up, Menace. Big up. But yeah, the game itself now, we started brightly. City had an opportunity after 2 minutes, I think it was.
Reinders, wasn't it?
You're at Reinders' chance, which you alluded to. But we then started to put a bit of pressure, and I think before or after the goal we had one cleared off the line? Malik Chow had one cleared off the line.
The
Voldemar, sorry.
Yeah. From the set piece.
Yeah. But talk to me about the goal itself, because it was a well taken goal. A through ball from Sandro Tonali, who I thought was excellent for most of that game yesterday. What are your thoughts on that? A great finish from Harvey Barnes. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's many factors to the goal. So number one, there's a great piece of skill with like a pirouette from Botman, which places into Tonali. And again, we've talked about this very much, that Bruno's probably arguably the only one in the midfield that has that slot through ball in the locker. Normally it's in the right-hand channel. Tonali manages to do it in the left-hand channel. And what you notice there is you've got runners. So if you notice, at the same time Barnes is running, Osula's running through the middle. So at the very least, he's stretching the defense, pushing them back, which creates space. Tonali's able to find him. And then what you notice with Barnes is he's got a very split decision. You either whip it in, low cross, potentially a tap in for Osula, or you take it yourself. And Barnes, as we know, yes, he's been off form recently, but he is arguably one of our best finishers. And, it's a wonderful curved strike inside top corner. I mean, James Trafford hasn't got a chance. It's a beautiful finish, FIFA finesse, basically, R2. Do you know what I mean? It was a great finish. So that's what we want to see. When you're in possession of the ball, whether it's a Tonali, whoever's in centre midfield, they're in a quarterback role. If you've got the runners, you can release them. We haven't really had that kind of movement regularly this season.
What do you think about this comment from Iniesta? City tried the offside trap too, a bit of a mistake in my opinion. Was it more about their offside trap or great play from us, or a bit of both?
I think they were caught out because I think, again, if you watch our tapes, we rarely try these sort of direct through balls. So they probably thought we were going to pass it to the side, cling on to it a little bit. Think they didn't expect that direct. Oh, yeah, bang, ping that through. And I just think we caught them out. And it's good. It's good lines of running. Like I say, I think you can't underestimate the role Asula plays in that centre forward role, running and pushing them back as well, because they then have to track the man. So, they're following Barnes and they're following the centre forward backwards.
Yeah. Big up Joey in the building. Joey said, big up 90s Mags. I got the lineup because of the lack of players available, but the substitutions were baffling. And we'll talk about the substitutions as well. But yeah, in terms of the goal itself, listen, a great through ball from Tonali, this lateral pass. But when Barnes went through, I thought he should have squared it. When in real time, I thought you have to square this. But credit to him, we've seen that finish before from Barnes. He's, again, probably one of the best finishers in the club, if not the best finisher in the club. And he needed that goal because I think he's gone, 10, 11 games or something like that without a goal or something like that. Am I right in saying that's his 10th goal of the season as well? Right, something like that?
He might have more in all comps.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong.
Yeah. But
he might have
listen,
13 or something.
Emphatic finish. And I thought it was deserved given the pressure we were putting City under and the way we started the game. I thought, deserved to take the lead. Had he missed it though and not squared it to Asula, he would have been livid. But nah, credit to him. What were your thoughts when we scored that goal? What were your thoughts? Did you think, right, we're on it now, we're going to get another, or did you think it's going to be typical Newcastle, like, the way we sit back and invite pressure?
Well, obviously, I'm not going to call out Yinks, or maybe I am. Yinks is saying in the group that, yep, we're going to go on to win this one. I think we probably thought between us, here we go again. That GTA meme. But it did seem at the time that we were firing on all cylinders and that things were more positive. And, we could sink our teeth into this one, basically, and really make a fist of it. Because it did really feel, with the chances we had, I know they had a chance or two, but with the chances we had, that we seemed a threat at that point in time. Would I say we're on top? No, but we seemed like we could take them on. So yeah, really sort of pensive about what could happen, but I felt a little bit more confident at that point in time.
Yeah. There's 41 of you in the building so far, much appreciated. Please smash the like button. I think we're on about 19 likes. Let's see if we can get to 25 in the next couple minutes and build from there. So it'll be much appreciated. Smash the like button if you haven't already. It only takes a second. But yeah, like you said, I actually thought we could win. Listen,
you seen the stats there from that Gary put in there?
I did see actually. What, this one?
Yeah.
Some stats were since Sunderland game. We played 14 games in the Prem, won 6, drawn 1, lost 7, scored 23, conceded 26. Listen,
lost 17.
No, lost 7.
Isn't it?
L7.
L7. Oh, L7. Oh, my bad. Okay, wow.
We ain't played 17 games.
I was going to say, that's relegation form. I was about to get in one there. But
listen, I saw a stat today about the amount of home goals we've conceded. We conceded more home game goals than Wolves and Burnley. I think we conceded one of the most. We're at the top of home goals conceded.
Yes,
that's embarrassing.
I feel like I've seen someone at 22 goals, right?
I think it might be more. It might be 38 in something like that. I don't know what it is. It's mad, bro. It's crazy. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of goals you've conceded, and that's embarrassing. Yeah, because remember, a couple of seasons ago we had one of the best defense in the league, and I was waxing lyrical about this partnership of Botman and Chow. Fair enough, I said when Lewis Hall and Tilo Livramento are playing, but boy, we leak goals for fun, and it's not even a joke. We need to fix that fast. But yeah, got to smash the likes off if you do. Jeff wears a wig next episode. Nah, he's taking liberties, bro. He's taking liberties.
Menace.
Bro, they're at you, bro. Kenny said you need to go to Specsavers, bro. But listen, right.
Behave, Kenny. Behave, mate.
So I don't know how many minutes it was, but obviously City got back into the game, right? Through Savinho. What are your thoughts on the goal we conceded? Because that finish that he did, yeah, like first of all, we got skinned down the left hand side. I think it was Trippier and was it Elanga just standing off Doku.
Yep,
I think it was,
yep.
yeah, and it's come across the box. And first of all, what are your thoughts on the defending? But second of all, what's your thoughts on Savino's touch? Was he taking the piss or was he just stunned that
Nah,
it come to him?
it's fluke, man. I think he got caught off guard. I think they all got caught off guard. Firstly, for starters, Willock's body language for that goal is absolutely astounding. He is just goal watching. Sorry, ball watching. Because if the ball comes back to Ake, he's not gone out to him. So what are you doing? First of all, I'll point that out. And then fair enough, you can argue Ilanga is trying to back Trippier up because we've criticized the team all season for not blocking crosses coming into the box. At least if there's two of you, it gives him something to think about. Now, somehow, Doku's able to saunter into the box without being pressed or confronted. I understand you don't want to give away a penalty, but you've got to get closer to the man. Somehow he manages to whip a ball in. And I don't know if it's a case if Lewis Hall mistimes the sweep clearance because he thinks the keeper's going to get to it. They both miss it, and I think that actually catches Savinho off guard. So it's just like, oh, there you go, and it's hit off his foot and gone in. Because if you watch the replay, how they both miss it, the keeper and and Hall, I don't know. I don't know if that happened again and again and again. I don't think that would happen as often.
What is it about like players that can't hit a barn door out of form that manage to score against us, bro? Yeah, it was bad enough when Beto and Barry both scored in one game, right? But now you've got Savino, who listen. Let's be honest. Pep wanted him out come the summer. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tottenham. I think Tottenham bidded some money for him, whatever. He couldn't get a start in the team, and he gets a goal. He gets a goal. And I'd like the defending and to allow the ball to come across right from start to finish was embarrassing. Yeah, 1-1, and from then on, it was pretty much one-way traffic in it. It was one-way traffic, but they laid siege to our goal. I think Reinders again put one just wide when he should have put it in. And we were hanging on for dear life until I think we need to get to half time. We need to get to half time, and luckily we did. Yeah. Now,
one thing just before you move on, I'd love to hear from people in the chat. What do you think of the state of our defending and the way that we're leaking goals? Because for me, it's extremely concerning. Like when you look at us, we do look like a lower mid-table club.
we look so vulnerable,
and the form does feel like a bottom six sort of form. We're very porous in terms of the way we try and hold on to leads and concede goals. Like, what do you guys in the chat think about the manner of us conceding these goals? So go on, D-Man.
No, quickly, Jono, he asked a good question, but we might come back to that later. He said, what are your thoughts on Anthony Barry, Tuchel's number 2? I've been following him for a while, and I think he'd be perfect for us. He's a genius on the training pitch, and he's ready to step up now. If anyone knows about him in the chat, let us know, because I'm not familiar with him, if I'm honest. That's something I'd have to look into, but interesting. But we're going to talk about Eddie Howe in a bit anyway, so stay tight for that one. Hang tight for that one. Steve says City has spent nearly 3 billion, for God's sake, a long way to go. Yes, Eddie subs were weird, but he was saving legs for Barca. Okay, interesting.
But Stephen, if you have a look at that team, that team is supplemented by players that have cost less than our players. Semenyo cost less than Voltamada. Churchy cost less than Ilanga. Who else they got? You got players like Reinders that are like 40-ish million. They're about the same cost, if not less than Ramsey. So we can't use
to balance
money
that
as an
out, though.
excuse.
Can we talk about maybe the wages that they're on, the salary that they're on?
Maybe. I can't imagine a Kuznetsov is on that much. Yes,
no, fair enough. The Kuznetsov, didn't we go in for Kuznetsov?
To come to them over us, I guess. But
yeah.
The recruitment, we can't diss them. Recently, they've got better with the recruitment in terms of not overly splashing out. They've been very smart about the way they've done it. Whereas actually, we had the chance this summer and we didn't do it, and now we're paying for it.
When in terms of the defending, what's your thoughts on this one? How much you miss Fabian Schär? What's your thoughts on that? Do you think he would make a difference?
I just think, and I know me and Yinks are talking about this in the group, and I disagree with him. I think we're going to romanticize about a player that's injured and look back to his best days. Everybody's got to remember that building up to him getting injured, we were all saying he'd lost his legs, which he had. unfortunately his pass is best. He's old, and you just get the whole dad's army at the back. Imagine you have him Burn, if Burn was playing, Burn starting. I mean, Burn, Trippier, and Share is just too slow. What he does give you is he's good in possession, sort of the right switch pass.
Mm.
But after that, what? Yes, he's maybe a bit of a threat in the box. But we have to persist with Botman and Thiaw, unfortunately. They are our future. I don't think we're conceding goals because of the centre backs mainly. We're conceding goals on the basis of a team, on the basis that we're not pressing well enough from the front, that our midfield is open and porous.
Well, like Genius
Then
said,
there's a lack of protection.
Genius said teams pick apart the 4-5-1 straight line midfield. The mid block system has been found out, and that's the thing. Like Eddie Howe needs to show some tactical flexibility, because we can see it, everyone else can see it, but he doesn't seem to want to address it, and for God knows we don't know why. I think Genius asked, "Is Raymond a troll or a bot?" Listen, Raymond. Answer, just put yes or no, just so we know that you're actually human.
You don't leave Raymond alone. Leave him alone.
Big up Raymond, man. Big up Raymond. Hopefully good, man. Hopefully good. Big up Lion Point in the video said, we should have added depth to the defense long ago. As of right now, aside from Hall and Chow, I don't have confidence in anyone. Interesting. A lot of people starting to come for Malik Chow as well. So I
can't remember the last game he's been rested. I think he's
played every game this season. He's got to run him into the ground, man.
Ridiculous.
He's got a World Cup to go to, bro. Let's chill out, man.
Whether Eddie likes it or not, maybe you switch to a 3 at the back then, because then you can play maybe Burn as the left centre back and Botman and a makeshift right back. Even Trippier can maybe tuck inside and ask him not to venture forward. Remember, I guess Kyle Walker's got more pace, but he's been used in that way. We just need to be a bit more creative. And is there anyone that we can bring up from the academy? I don't know if Heffernan would be good enough. Again, Pivas. We got to try something.
Like Connor said, Speed smash the like button. I think we're on 27 now, so let's get up to 35. There's 48 in the building at the moment. And also, if you haven't subscribe to the channel as well. Trust me, we've got some special guests coming in the next couple of episodes. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, Kim Cam said, big up Kim Cam. Hope you're good.
Big up.
Kim Cam said, we are sometimes like headless chickens. Sci-fi at its best, from quantum hero to waste of time. But it's true. Listen,
I like that one.
Once we concede, we seem to just be all over the shop. Yeah, and teams just smell blood and start going for a jugular. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, we were hanging on till half time, and luckily we did get to half time. Joe Linton, I don't know what he did. I started a little right to get what's his name booked. What's his name? Colo Torre. Pep got booked. He lost his head as well. But yeah, tell me something. And I've said this before. What does Eddie Howe say to these men at halftime? Yeah, because we come out time and time again, and we're sleeping. Yeah, how many times in that first 10 minutes of the second half do we concede? This is, I think sometimes we concede within 30 seconds or a minute. It's embarrassing. What's happened? Because
I think with games like this, when you're not seeing a lot of the ball. So, for example, Man City had, I think, 58% possession. They completed 89% of their passes. They had around 200 passes more than us. You can end up sleepwalking, just ball watching and lose concentration. So it's like a viper, strangling you, constricting you. So it's not even just physically you get tired because you're chasing after the ball, but mentally keeping shape and concentration, it's going to affect you,
And our arch nemesis, a certain Omar Mamouche, took over. Big up Carno in the building. Hope you're good.
Big up.
What were your thoughts on the second goal that we conceded?
Again, it's sort of like we seem almost pedestrian at times. And then by the time it gets across to the back post, you can just see it's like second-handed reactions. No one's like judging people's movements. I'm afraid I may have to judge Trippier on this one because he doesn't check back to see who his man is, and he's been attracted to the ball. Maybe he thinks he can get there and intercept it. I don't know, but it slips through him, And then, of course, Marmoush is unmarked at the back post. We have to get better at sticking to our men. I don't know how many times we have to say it. Concentration levels. Just have a look, have a little feel of the man. All right, you know where he's at. So why are we getting attracted to the ball? You know,
Yeah, and then
preventable,
yeah,
preventable.
like Kenny said, one good goal and two tap-ins. Yeah, and can't really argue about that. But the good goal that they did score, he's done it to us before. These long-range shots that he takes against us. Yeah, good strike. Don't get me wrong, good strike. But he pretty much sealed the game. Why does he love playing against us, bro? He scored 14 goals since he's been at Man City, and 7 of them have
Seven
been
against
against
us.
us.
It's
That is mad. Yeah.
it's just, again, we're talking about the fringes, of the box. So people will blame the defense. Should the defense push up a little bit more and press the man? But where is the midfield? Where is the midfield? One of you have to pick up the edge. The edge of the box is so important because you can pop shots off, particularly when we know someone like a Marmoush. He has it in his locker. He's done it against us before. Do you not watch the tapes? Do you not study the tapes? How are they prepping for this game? We know about some of these players' ability. So again, when you look at these, yes, it's a good goal, but is it preventable? Probably, yeah. But
Yeah.
again, is that tired legs? Is that
Tired legs,
concentration?
tired
You
minds.
get beat. This is it. You get beaten into submission. And this is why it's so important to master possession of the football. Because the football does the work, not the man. Eddie has it the wrong way round. You can't keep running, 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 right? Because you're going to run out of energy. Let the ball do the work. So this is why I think when it's time for Eddie to go, and I really do hope he does go, we find a manager that can make us better on the ball.
Um, Christopher said, D-Man, do you know Jose hasn't lost a league game this season? Two things on that, Christopher. We don't speak about Jose anymore due to his comments about Vinicius Junior. I know he tried to backtrack, but nah, we're not having that. And second of all, do you know he's never won at St. James's Park? That's another thing. But yeah, big up, big up. But yeah, listen. So we end 3-1. We're at the FA Cup. That was the only realistic chance of European football as far as I'm concerned. Big up, Jonathan, by the way. Hope you're good. Hope you're good.
Big up.
Now, this won't take too long, this section, but let's talk about some positive performances. Yeah, any positive performances that, from your perspective? I have two. Yeah, but what about you?
I mean, I personally, I think, although he's got another level to go, I still am quite happy with how Tonali has filled in for Bruno.
Yeah, he was
For
one. Yeah,
me, I think that's one that stands out. And you know what? I'm gonna say, for me, I think although he's kind of not fully fit, maybe I thought Botman did okay in parts for me when I watched him. Obviously not stand up, but I thought he did okay in parts. And then again, people will say that maybe Ramsdale could do better, but I still feel that when we have the ball, the defense do look calmer, the team do look calmer with him there. And for me,
yeah.
that makes a difference rather than consistently blasting it long, blasting it into the stands, that kind of thing.
I just want to read some of these comments. Carter, I'm sure he's saying the only positive was the full-time whistle. Yeah.
Yeah.
William
We're
said, talk
clutching,
about.
we're clutching the straws here, man.
He
Real
said,
talk.
he said, I thought Hall had a good game. We'll talk about that. William said, talk about positive. Okay, what's next?
He's paying for blood.
No,
He's
listen,
paying
but
for blood.
to be fair, I thought Lewis Hall was one of mine as well. I thought he had a great battle with Savinho. I probably think I know Savinho scored, but I think on the balance of things, I think Lewis Hall might have just got the better of him. But it was a very good battle, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I think he
But
struggled. I think he
but
struggled.
nah, man, a couple times did but then he settled in and he kind of bossed him, man. He kind
Because,
of
because
bossed him.
technically, if you look at the goals, two of them, he's complicit.
No,
because
no, but what I'm saying is Savino,
because
not no, he's all hooked up,
oh
but
Savino.
his
Okay, I
battle
swear
with
I meant
Savino.
Hall. I meant
Yeah, yeah,
Hall
yeah. No, Hall's
defensively.
battle with Savino, I think he got the better of Savino in the balance of things. I know Savino scored, but the individual battle when they were going at it, the one-on-ones and stuff, I think Hall probably did it. But and also going forward as well, going forward, his ball retention and going forward and trying to make things happen. I thought he was one of the bright sparks of the day. I mean, Botman, a lot of people have been critical of Botman's performance yesterday. I mean, I thought he was okay. But
Yeah,
I'm also going to say the fact he's only just coming back from injury as well,
yeah,
and he hasn't had continuous start. So I'm going to blame. But yeah, Tonali I thought was good for in terms of the way we played. I think for majority of the game he was one of our better players. And like I said, since Bruno's been out of the team, I think he's raised the level, not back to his all-time best, whatever. But again, if you look at neutrals, they're talking about him daily now, how good he is and how they love him in the team and stuff like that. So he must be doing something right. Must be doing something right. But yeah, let's talk about some of the before we talk some of the negative performances. Let's talk about the substitutions and the tactics, because there was a moment, obviously, when he's brought on Dan Burn, he's put him at left back and he's put Lewis Hall at right back. And within 2 minutes, Dan Burn gets skinned. Yeah, absolutely skinned. What do you think the logic was behind that move? What do you think it was?
I think Eddie is very heavily reliant on a certain group of players. He wants players that he knows well, can rely upon, may or may not be in his leadership group, but we're literally talking about playing players out of position. So this is desperation. I mean, we know that Lewis Hall's technically adept, but he's not a right back. He's not a right back. And actually, instead of bringing on Burn, there's no reason why you can't bring on Murphy, even for a shorter period of time. Murphy did all right when he came on in the Champions League game. So it's becoming increasingly frustrating. And I think when you look at these sort of odd choices, particularly with changes where you want it to change the game and have it impact, he's looking very desperate, unfortunately.
Okay, okay. And in terms of some some of the more disappointing performances, I know as a whole the team didn't perform. Alanga's getting a lot of stick. What are your thoughts of Alanga's performance?
You could, I mean, did he have an impact? Really? Did he? You know?
What he did do when the two things that frustrate me, and listen, big up Curtis, because Curtis said to me like he refuses to watch Newcastle if he sees Alanga starting the game again. Yeah, but he did watch this one, and within 2 minutes he's cussing. Yeah, and I get it, because there's times when Alanga he's on the ball and he finds space, right?
Mm,
But he did it against Man City in the last fixture when he could just thread the ball through,
yeah,
play a
he
through ball.
takes an he
He,
takes an
he,
extra touch,
he
doesn't he?
takes an extra touch. He holds on to the ball for too long, and there was a time when he almost cost us, because it might have been Ryan's thing in the first half when he gives away the ball. He cuts inside and he's passed it across the field, and he's intercepted City on the break. Like he's becoming a bit of a liability in terms of the out of possession. You know what I mean? He gives the ball
The
away and stuff like that.
transitions, yeah.
A lot of people say, what can he do? He can't beat a man. He can't pass. He can't shoot. He can't dribble. Whatever. I don't know. But that was, again, we thought that he was starting to get a bit more accustomed to the team, and then he seems to be regressing a little bit. But again, he was one that people were pointing out. But was there anyone else that you were? Because I thought, apart from his goal, Harvey Barnes didn't offer anything.
Yeah, again, I agree with that. I don't really think he did very much in the game. Um, Again, I just think it's a game where we didn't really, if you think about it, we didn't see too much of the ball. We didn't have the lion's share of the ball. So it then means you're a bit panicked in possession when you have it. You have to force that initiative. So in terms of like connection, having opportunities, Barnes only had a few, you know. And then it comes down to concentration, energy levels, all those kind of things. But it's always going to be difficult in a game like this where athleticism is always beaten by ingenuity, technical players on the ball. Um, it's just very sad to watch, unfortunately. And what I'm starting to see now, if you want me to be honest, is I think Alexander Isak may have really papered over some cracks
Oh,
and
100%.
flaws in this
100%.
team.
It's not just him. He papered out a lot of cracks, but the absence of Bruno as well. Yeah, the absence of
Yeah,
Bruno is hurting
yeah,
us. But you're right. The Isak thing, as much as people hate him and whatnot, he was so important to the way we play. Yeah. And like I said, he bailed us out many times. And not just with his goals, with the problems that he caused central defenders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we lack that. And also the fact that his replacement is not being played up top as well is costing us as well. I'm not saying he would have the same impact, but we're effectively playing without a striker in every game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that doesn't make it. We're not good enough to do that. We're not Pep with the false nine and Barca, and even when he has Sterling there, and we're not that. We're not that, right? And it's costing us. Now, how we address it, I don't know. Eddie Howe spoke about basically maybe it's a bit of an admission that Tuesday against Barcelona is our season hangs on it now, but we ask this question all the time. But how bad does it need to get before the board sit up and take notice of what's like? But failing, but before that though, at full time, did you hear the chant of the crowd backing Eddie Howe
Yeah.
at full time?
Yeah. I mean, you hear the chants. We've seen it before as well with the tifo. That is sending out the wrong messages. And the thing is, fans demanding more and saying that we're not happy with performances or the quality of football. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not personal, and you can still back the manager, but ultimately the team is the most important thing. And at the moment, the team is suffering. So if you are then backing the manager over the kind of current demise of the team, you're sending the wrong messages to the board. Because what you're saying is, it's all right to lose in this fashion. The state of play in terms of our form is absolutely fine. We're happy with this, board. Please continue. You know, and we really need to snap out of this trance. I know I sort of have a bit of banter and I get on my soapbox about the culties, but it is really looking cult-like now because most other teams would have gotten rid of the manager by now. And at the very minimum, there'd be some kind of angst and protest from fans in terms of demanding more, because what's going to happen is we're going to turn into plucky losers, right?
We already
Or
are, aren't we?
content, well, basically, or being really content with participation. So in terms of that regression from last season, where we probably had the greatest, opportunity in terms of our momentum to really propel forward. Are we honestly saying this is acceptable? It shouldn't be.
Well, what do you say to this? Big up Ian in the building. Hope you're good. He said, what can the board do other than break the rules? Yeah. So Ian, I take it that you're a fan of Eddie Howe staying. Not saying you're wrong, yeah, because you're entitled to your opinion. But what will it take? Well, first of all, how much responsibility does Eddie have to take for the situation that we're in? And what would it take for you to say that he needs to go? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Also, those in the chat, smash the like button. There's 56 of you in there, so much appreciated. We're on 31 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 40 within the next 10 minutes. Because this is the Eddie Howe section. I know a lot of you are interested to know our thoughts, and you're giving your thoughts in the comments as well, which is much appreciated. But yeah, my thing is it's the same thing, because at the end of the day, you have to forget what's going on outside, off the field, whatever. You start with what's happening on the field. And for those who are fans of Eddie Howe, are you not concerned with the way we continue to play? The fact that most teams play better football than us, yeah, and it's all good playing this style of football if it's effective, right? But we've seen what the state of the season is doing, the league season, right? Now you can't really, the cup competitions don't tell you the real picture, yeah, because that's exactly what they're, cup competitions, they're knockouts, right? It's all about how you perform in a league over 38 games. We're sitting in where are we? 12th, 11th? I don't know where we are. Right? But we're well off the pace for Champions League qualification. We're well off the pace for Europa League qualification. And it's probably an outside chance of making top 8. Yeah? Given our form. Right? So the way we play is not good enough. The results are not good enough. And the teams that we lose to, West Ham, Brentford twice, Everton at home, to name a few. The only time we really get up, play decent, is when we play the bigger teams at home. Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, Man City at home the first time. Now, We lost to Liverpool. We lost to Arsenal. All right, the other two we beat. Right, Chelsea we got a draw. But that's the, like you said in the last episode, that's the kind of thing we used to do under Steve Bruce. You know what I mean? There's no consistency, but yet we can get out for the big teams, and that's not good enough. And like I said, we don't control games. Good teams, especially when you're playing in Europe, you cannot play the way we play and think it's going to be sustainable, right? It's not sustainable. You have to learn to control games, and then you go to what's happening off the field, yeah, because you can't control games if you haven't got the right caliber of player, the right profile of player. How many players do we have that can put their foot on the ball and dictate play, slow it down, know where to speed it up? How many technical based players do we have in this squad? Now, people talk about, he hasn't been back financially, whatever. Whether you think he has or not, we spent 250 million in the summer. And look at the profile of player that we bought. Yeah. We addressed the positions, well, most of them, but we lacked a creative midfielder, right? One would make a difference, because let's be honest, we cannot break down a low block to save our life. Yeah. And especially when Bruno's not playing. Yeah. What have we got? Again, our most technically gifted player is our left back. And that's not the sign of a great team. Yeah. So what would it take for those who champion Eddie Howe? Because let's be honest, we know what profile of player he likes. Yeah. Energetic athletes, preferably Premier League experience. Yeah. If we continue to buy that profile of player, what do we expect is going to change? Because next season, when we don't qualify for a year in Europe, we have one game a week. We might get European football again. But then we get the season after that.
So it's like an endless cycle.
You know what I mean?
He's proved, because this is technically his second opportunity.
Yeah.
So he's proved that he can't do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. But let me look at some of these comments. Ian said Eddie Howe isn't the board. We know that, but let's not forget that he probably had a lot of say in the transfer activity that went on last summer. Yeah, so he has to take some responsibility for that, as far as I'm concerned. Stephen said people have opinions about how in or out, but changing could make you worse. Look at Spurs. It could do, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. When are we going to say, okay, it's time to try something different? Because if you don't, you stay the same. Yeah. So would you not want to take that risk, a calculated risk, because it might not work out, but it might do. Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to stay the same. If you're happy to stay the same in this level of football, this yo-yo business, qualify for Europe, don't qualify for Europe, a cup every, I don't know, God knows how many years. Is that what you're happy with? I don't know.
That's a valid point you make, D-Man. I think what we would both implore fans to think about is stop going off emotion. We go off emotion too much, and that's where you get the sort of loyalty and, look at how far we've come and blah, 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 blah. Look at the history. You have to be based on facts and logic now, because if we don't go that route, we could go 10 steps back. Eddie has had a chance. He has had a chance, and that was this season. He's not taken it. So it's time for a fresh start, in my opinion, because the tactics have gone stale. I mean, watch it. I'm full of dread watching the team, and I'm really uninspired. We don't play good football. We can barely keep possession. So, I think people are sick and tired of watching the same thing. And as for Andy Howe, how Andy Howe is still in a job right now, again, is another one for me, because it's failure. He's failed, in terms of the summer. And I'm getting a bit worried, because there's some links coming through for certain players, and it feels like a rinse and repeat again with this Premier League proven business.
Was it Dominic Solanke you were linked to today?
Solanke, and I think, was it Marcos Senesi? And I think there was another one we were linked to that I was a bit like, nah, this feels like Eddie staying, and that's a problem for me, because we're just not learning and we're not going to progress. It's going to be mediocre City.
Is this WTSM? Is that Mitch? If that's Mitch, big up Mitch. He said Eddie plays Football Manager and then try to replicate his save. Big up. Who else we got?
Okay, Travoy was saying sorry, he couldn't put his camera on. He's at a family event, but he wants to talk without the camera on, if that's okay.
Yeah, come back in. We'll let you in, Travoy. We'll let you in.
Come back in, mate, and then you can have your say.
Who else we got? Big up Big up Frost NFC. Fans don't realize how bad next season is going to be. No Europe means no good players and losing best players. Sure, we'll get good money for those players, but this manager will waste it on Prem
Yes.
proven players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's the problem.
Big up Double D in the building. Hope you're good. He said, "What you beat Barca now in the first leg?" Boy, I don't know. Yeah, we'll get to that as well. We'll get to predictions as well.
Happy belated Independence Day, brother, as well.
Yes.
What's happening? You okay? Hey,
Welcome,
You good?
Chavoy.
You good?
Yeah,
We're just
good,
going through
man.
some of these comments, Chavoy. So just hold tight for a minute.
That's it.
Yeah. Who we've got there? He always sniffing around garbage teams for the most garbage players. He has zero eye for talent. He couldn't pick a decent player at a Ballon d'Or ceremony. Listen, Chavoy,
Yeah, man.
I know you got a lot to get off your chest. What's your thoughts about Eddie Howe? Give God, the floor is yours.
Oh, man, get that man out of our club, please. Please get him out of our club. That man is past his sell-by date. Jeez, that man is so bad. I mean, I was quite disgusted last night watching that game. Actually, that was the first time I was like embarrassed to be a supporter for a long time. It wasn't that, people going on about the quality of Man City, which is obviously there, but the way that he looked like he threw the game to me, like he just threw in the towel. Like, if you want that from your manager, then what are people seeing, brothers? Like, what are they seeing? Are they seeing, I don't know, they got their beer goggles on, or I honestly don't know what's going on with them. Like, people can't see the obvious.
So what do you think, those who think that they want him to stay, what do you think their argument? Do you think there's any sort of valid argument or valid point as to why he should stay? Or is it just literally nothing?
The only valid argument they have is because we were so bad before the takeover. Like, it was that bad before the takeover that, like, this is the most positive we've ever had, like, Newcastle in my lifetime after winning the trophy, obviously. But, like, if you can only see as close to this level as a fan base, then how are we supposed to even be complaining or even wanting to be a top 6 club or a top 4 club or even winning the Premier League? How are we supposed to be that if this is the level of fan base that, like, we just happy with? Like, we happy with being the richest owners and having all of these supposed to be powerful people who know how to run businesses. But, like, if we got Eddie Howe at the helm, I don't know, we just want to be like Bournemouth, I guess.
So what do you think of the CEO's comments about, being a competitor for the league by 2030? What's your thoughts on that?
Like, I think he's out of his depth, really, you know what I mean? Hopkinson, like, the decisions that he's made is angering fans, but also promising fans this whole glorified Newcastle United when we don't see enough from him. We don't hear enough from him. We don't see enough from him. Look how long it's taken to actually announce, like, a stadium ground. We don't see no new sponsorships. He's been in for 6 months, he said, but not even one new sponsor properly.
So you think that's enough time for him to get things together like that within 6 months? Is that what you're saying? I'm saying you're wrong.
I think when you're getting all that money, buds, and you actually paid to do a job, I think you should come in. He did the 100-day review, which was fine. And he's supposed to root out all the bad and bring in all the good after the 100-day review. But, like, I don't see nothing. And I don't think they're going to fire. The frightening thing is, I don't think the ownership or, like, even the CEO, whoever running the club for the ownership, I don't even think they can see how bad Eddie Howe is.
They're cowards. I think they're afraid to rock the boat.
Well, So what about Jefferson? I'll ask you this then. When I think Hopkinson said, he came out and said that the target was European qualification this season, I believe, and then Eddie Howe said we know what our targets are. Right? He didn't disclose them. I might be wrong with the CEO saying that, but I believe it's definitely European qualification. Considering we got to the Champions League last season, I don't think anything less than Europa. There was rumors that it has to be Europa or higher. Do you think? Well, we're unlikely to make that. Yeah. So do you think if we don't, he gets sacked?
I think it would be right to sack him because he's not meeting the remit in terms of where the club is right now. You know, again, and Eddie Howe is partially due credit for our high place finishes in terms of fourth, seventh, fifth over the last previous 3 seasons. But that then means standards and expectations go up. So you then become a victim of your own success. If you're not meeting that barometer, it's time to go. And that's the
Mhm.
natural course of action. And it shows that you are ambitious. So this is what I'm saying. Not just the fans, but I think the board, they need to show that action, that actually mediocrity is not acceptable. And it's not about being friends or, you know, liking a personality or because they're a nice guy. It's not about the past, it's about today. And it's also about the future. So even if you look at little things, there's always an excuse, you know, like he's blocked the path of academy players. But people say, oh, but the academy isn't good enough. How do we know? We're not playing them because we've got a manager who's refusing to play them. And he's going to consistently want to overspend for supposed ready-made Premier League players. So it's
Yeah.
only going to stunt our growth and our future. The board have to take action. We've heard all the words that Hopkinson has said, but we need to see the action now. And unfortunately, even if Eddie, in my opinion, gets Conference League in 7th or 8th position,
Yeah.
he has to go.
Okay, so first of all, there's 59 of you in the building, so I think we're on 36 likes. So let's see if we can get up to 45, yeah, in the next 5-10 minutes, yeah. Like Genius
Yeah,
just said,
like,
if you're Eddie out, smash the likes. If you're editing, smash the likes too, yeah. Be
can I
much
press the like
appreciated, man.
loads of times? Can
It
I
only
press
takes
the
a
like?
second, man. Carnell said, my biggest fear is that I don't think he's going to get sacked. Now, there has been, whether it's come through the journalists or, you know, the club have fed that information out, but they have come out and said that the board have no intention of sacking him and he has no intention of walking. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But listen, we'll get to what we think is going to happen in the Barcelona game anyway in a bit. But we could lose to Barcelona and go out the Champions League. And it's not inconceivable to think that we could lose to Chelsea away, which we never really get a good result there. And then we've got the derby coming up. So, Chavoy, how do you think there's any way that he could get sacked or relieved of the duties or he walked before the end of the season if he was to lose all those games, Barcelona, Chelsea, and then the derby against Sunderland? Do you think that will be that wouldn't, you know, rock the boat enough?
I think the derby against Sunderland, if you lose that one, I mean, like there's no way back. There was no way back when you lost the fast one. Like, come on, this is a £7 million team versus Sunderland's team that they had, and we played terrible. We played like nothing. So if he loses the Sunderland game, I don't think he can go past that at all. I mean, that's the break off point for me, and it's been a break off last time. So I'm just like, how can that man survive through the Sunderland, getting beat by Sunderland 2 times in the league, and then plus finishing below Sunderland? Plus, they play better football than us. It is crazy.
Yes, it is. It is, man. That
It's
could
sad.
be. It could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, but I'm not sure. Again, I've said before that because that close to the season end, I don't know. Carnell said we will lose to Barca. Let's be real, we're going to get embarrassed over 2 legs. Now, if we do get if we get slapped, like I'm talking by 5 goals aggregate, yeah, then that could be because remember Eddie said our season depends on this, yeah. So we're not expected to beat them. I know that, but if we get heavily smacked, yeah, surely that could turn things a little bit. Surely.
Well, another thing as well I'd like to pick out is that I actually commended Eddie on his interview after we won the cup, and he said it in front of the fans, didn't he, at the parade as well, that this isn't it. We want to make sure we finish Champions League. So everyone was laser focused. There was no complacency. But it sounded to me, it was very much like if we go out of these cups, season's done. But mathematically, I could be wrong. I think we're technically still 5 points off Brentford in 7th.
Yeah, but
So
we're not making it
Conference
up.
League is possible.
We're not
It is
making it up.
possible. But it sounds to me like you should be saying, right, we're willing to fight for anything, you know, that's mathematically possible. But it sounds to me like he's done. He's like, yeah, we go out, then season's done. It's like, really? Is that the message you're sending to the
Yeah.
players and
Well,
the
yeah,
fans?
I mean, that was a strange thing to say, to be fair. I know it's reactionary after the FA Cup disappointment. You want to, you know, I don't know. I say put a positive spin, but that's not really a positive spin because it's Barcelona that we're playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Stephen said, "I'm Eddie Howe out now, out, but not the timing has to be right." So for you, Stephen, I think you're talking about I'm going to ask you when is the right time? When is the
Bring
right
up the
time?
under 21 manager. Bring up the under 20. I don't care because they're clearly playing better football. Bring up the under 21 manager or Graham Jones because at the very least, I just want to change formation from 4-3-3. That I guarantee you, one of these managers will completely change formation. And you know what? The players might feel a weight lifted off their shoulders when he's gone. That's what people don't realize. And we may see an upturn in performances. Keeping the manager there is just nothing's going to change. He has to
okay.
go.
So what about this then?
He has to go.
By the way, we're on 40 likes. We need 5 more likes in the next 3 minutes. Come on, we can do that, people. Yeah. Ian said, "What was Newcastle like before Eddie? Remind me." Now we know what Newcastle were like, Eddie, and Ian. I know I take your point. Yeah, but how long can you look in the past? Yeah, if you want
No,
to move forward.
I think Ian means D-Man. I think Ian means that like remind me because he can't see no difference right now. That's what I think.
Yeah, because we were 12th, 13th.
Yeah, that's what I think he
and if
means.
anything, at least we were like, as bad as it was, at least we knew that if we gave the ball to Maximan, something would happen. We knew that Wilson likely, as a 1-in-2 striker, would finish off a chance. We don't even have that now.
No, we
don't
have nothing.
it. We're
Hey,
worse.
you do like
we're worse.
Did you see last night, like how bad are the players that we? Okay, I know just don't want to get on the Walter Mayer thing, but we know why he playing the way he playing. But like Elanga, dude, like 55 million for Elanga. I don't even.
For 2 years. He was scouted for 2
Yeah,
years.
I just be like, what? Who was scouting this dude? Because if Steve Nixon was scouting Ryan for the whole year, then who was scouting this guy? Because like this was Elanga and Wissa. Oh my goodness, this guy is so bad. I've never seen a striker perform like that for Newcastle before.
Roy, what about this then? Because to play devil's advocate, yeah, since the takeover, I'd say we've got 90% of the signings right. Yeah. So you're obviously going to have a few duds. Yeah. So to play devil's advocate, are we going to allow him this one to have got wrong and see how he does in the summer if he gets it right in the summer?
No, because you can't really go off his transfer windows because he didn't sign no one for 3 windows or 4 windows.
But was he able to?
Remove Andy Howe then. Remove Andy Howe and give the director of football Nixon more control. And then I'll feel a little bit more confident. But if his nephew's there, forget it. He'll be looking to sign players we're watching on Match of the Day. And the thing about the Ashley situation, what was so frustrating about it, that actually, in terms of the recruitment, it was very good. We were able to sign players and sell them for a profit. You know, players with add-on sell-on value and potential, and also the players have flair. Johan Kabay, your Ben Arthurs. Do you know what I mean? They had flair. We're just gonna sign generic athletes. Like, I'm sick of it, man.
Potman raised a good take. Said nonsense, D-man. All the good signings were Ashworth, and he said, "If you think I said this already, if you think Eddie Howe was pushing for Isak, Tonali, Elo, he only wants Premier League players." And that's the thing. I've always said that. Bruno, Tonali,
you're right.
Botman, they were all not Eddie Howe signings. They weren't. Isak was not an Eddie Howe
Dan
signing.
Burn, Nick Pope, and Trippier, and my man, what's his name? Target. They were Eddie signings.
Yeah, but and I think to give him credit, I think Tino and Lewis Hall were Eddie Howe signings. So I give him credit for that. And let's be honest, Dan Burn has been a good servant. Trippier has done well as well. So they've done well, but I get what you're saying. The profile of player is very easy to see. But listen, before we go, let's talk about the upcoming game against Barcelona, right? Because it's on Tuesday. He rested. He made 4 changes for this one. So, Travoy, who do you expect to come back into the team, or what do you expect him the kind of lineup to be?
Well, the team we played against Man United, I think that's the team that needs to go out there. I actually, bar Ramsey, I thought it should have been the team that played on the weekend. in the FA Cup. Sorry, I honestly thought that. Like, why would you change a winning system? You finally got a game. You finally won a game. Keep the team playing. I understand midday games, and but that's a winning for you had a winning team. Why break that up? Like, why? It just leave it as it is. So I hope he goes back to that. I hope he goes back and just put them out there for the remain. Like, if those guys are fit, that's the team that needs to be starting right now.
Okay. For those in the chat, give us your prediction and smash the like if you haven't already. Connor says 4-0 to Barca. Is that in the first leg or overall, Connor? Yeah, let me know. Jesse, what's your thoughts on the game itself, upcoming game, and the lineup?
Game?
Yeah.
I think again, as we know the magical nights are at St. James's Park. We know, how important our fans are, particularly in the big games. I think it will be a tight affair. I don't think they're going to whoop us. I do think they're going to dominate the game and dominate the ball. And you're looking at a potentially 2-1/3-1 loss. It's the away leg I'm worried about that I think we are going to get obliterated away. But I think the home game will be tighter. I think we will make a fist of it, I think.
Because Foss said 1-1 at home and 4-1 to them away. Similar point, Lion Point said 5-0. Now the thing is, a lot of people are going. A lot of the people that are let's say optimistic. Yeah, they're pointing to the fact that obviously we lost to two very good goals from Marcus Rashford. We created problems for them in the first half, but what they're failing to remember is that Lamine Yamal was missing. Yeah, and he's coming off like he's starting to hit a bit of form now, and he could cause us a problem. Anyway, he's up against Lewis Hall. Yes, we rate Lewis Hall, but he's gonna have problems. He's gonna have problems, right? So, listen, I think we go down 3-1 in this first leg, maybe 2-1, but probably 3-1, and I think we lose 2-0 in the second leg. I don't see a way where we do get past Barcelona. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. The way we're playing, the way they're playing, the quality of their team, the quality of our team, their manager, our manager, everything's stacked against us. The only thing we have is we're at home for the first leg. That's the only thing. So maybe we can put make an effort of it. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Is Rafinha? Rafinha? I think he is fit. Against Trippier. That's gonna get ugly. That's gonna get absolute. That's gonna get a bloodbath. That's gonna be.
I'm like, that's crazy. Oh, Pedri's out, eh?
Is Pedri out?
Yeah, Pedri's out, so. And De Jong's out, isn't it? Well, De Jong's definitely out.
De Jong, I knew was out. They got Olmo as well, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, they're stacked. They're more than fine. They're more than fine.
It's going to be just passing it around us, and it just comes to he said Pedri's there, so it comes down to again it's concentration off the ball because we got caught out in this Man City game. Like I said, arguably all three of those goals are preventable.
Yeah. Listen, we're on 55 people in there. We're on 42 likes. Can we get to 50 before we sign off? Right? We've got another 5 minutes. Let's get to 50, man. We much appreciate. And also, once the stream ends, just leave a comment. Just leave a comment. Simple comment that we much appreciate. It helps the channel grow and that.
Even the haters. Yeah, even the
haters. And like I said, we should have some special guests in the near future as well. So stay tuned on that. So Aaron, big up Aaron. Aaron said,
"Any clues, D-man? Or are you gonna tease him?"
No, I'm not dropping any clues, bro, because I might do that, and then all of a sudden they don't turn up. So you know what I mean? So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Joe Linton has to start against Barcelona not only to support Lewis Hall but to get the ball up the pitch. Now, does he doubt that stupid? Does he still do that stupidness with Voltemada in the 8, or did he play him at all in this one?
He needed taking out for this game. He can't be playing. He can't be playing this game. No, and definitely not in midfield.
Do you not want him to play, or do you think Eddie Howe's not going to play him?
No, I don't want him to play if us playing Barcelona. It don't, no, especially not in midfield. This is Barcelona. I don't care, I don't care what any fan said, we can time Barcelona or whatever. This is Barcelona. They make the ball do the work. He be just spinning around in circles in the midfield. Like, come on. You can't be playing him against Barca. Play the team that play Man United and don't like he be a good person to bring on up front. Like play them way up front where he's supposed to be playing.
Yeah, but we know he's not good at that. Gordon was rested for a reason, man. I know people said, I think he said House that Gordon was carrying a slight injury, but no, he's coming on. He's starting again. He's starting up front.
Who? Gordon, yeah.
Gordon. Ramsey will be back after missing out the cup game. So he will play midfield with Tonali. Does he play Willock instead of Voltamada? I think he may do. Similar to what we did against Tottenham, but without Bruno. So I think that might be something like that. I don't know. Time will tell.
D-Man, why do you think? How about the team that played against Man United then? Because that was just Ramsey, Tonali, and Joe Linton, right? In the middle. Then you had,
No, Voltamada played in the 8, didn't he? Joe Linton.
No, Voltamada, he was missing for that game.
For the Man United game. Oh yeah, illness. Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So just play the team that played against Man United. It's just simple. That's the only winning team you've had in a lot of games. Like, I understand. We all know, we all support Walter Maeda because of Eddie Howe's situation with him, but you can't play him in midfield. You can't play him. I don't care if you can't play him at all that game.
Play him up top, and just give Ramsey a bit more license to get forward. And actually, there was a chance that I think Barnes followed up on, then he scored. It's because he was close to the striker.
So So what about this then? Carter says it's got to be Joe Linton, Ramsey, and Tonali. That probably seems about right. Yeah, Joe Linton, Ramsey, Tonali. I think you're right in that respect.
Bit, I think.
Yeah. So you're going for what, Jefferson? You said a 2-1. Did you say 2-1 at the first leg?
I'm moving between 2-1 and 3-1. Oh man, probably 3-1, because the last time was 2-1. You know what I mean?
Hold on, sorry. Kenny says Pope will be back. You think he's going to put Pope back?
Maybe.
You reckon?
No.
His excuse might be you're conceding goals.
Yeah,
that's what Eddie does. He defaults the type, doesn't he?
Yeah. You might be right. But listen, we're going to leave it there. We'll leave it there. So thank you all for joining.
Cheers, guys.
Smash the likes if you haven't already. Be much appreciated. We will be back. When are we back? We're back on Wednesday.
After the
we'll be back on Wednesday to review this game, this interesting game. For those who are going to the game, enjoy. I'm sure most of us will be watching it from respective places and that. Anything you want to add? Thanks, Javoy, for joining, by the way.
No worries, bro. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks to those in the comments.
Eddie Howe out. Eddie Howe out. I'm out. Love, brother. Take care.
Take care, bro. Anyway, we're out. All right?
Peace.
Peace.